Welcome to the Bible Addict, chapter 6. Hopefully my phone does not run out of storage this time. So we just learned in chapter 5 that Haman was egged on to put up a 75-foot pole, and he's basically going to go to the king now to complain and throw Mordecai under the bus, so that the king will say yes to killing Mordecai. So that's where we're at. And remember, this was the same night as the banquet, the first banquet. And so at that banquet, Esther asked the king and Haman to come back the next night for the second banquet. So this is all the same night. The banquet, Haman complaining, builds the pole, and now I believe he's like walking back to the king. I believe that's where he was at. So yeah, let's get right into chapter 6. So we jump from Haman to King Xerxes. So that night, the king had trouble sleeping. So he ordered an attendant to bring the book of the history of his reign so it could be read to him. In those records, he discovered an account of how Mordecai had exposed the plot of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the eunuchs who guarded the door to the king's private quarters. They had plotted to assassinate King Xerxes. Okay, so right there, we'll just pause. Like, I can't even imagine being king. Like, this, it's just so far out there to me. He can't sleep, so he gets someone to come in and read a history book about himself. But I guess, like, even though it's about himself, like, it's history. So I guess it's supposed to be boring to put him to sleep. I don't know. I think it's funny. So someone comes in to his room to read to him, and it's a history about himself. And so anyways, I'm assuming it was supposed to help him sleep. That's me assuming. He finds out that Mordecai, this dude, this official for him, saved his life. So he's already forgotten about that. So now King Xerxes' ears are perking up, like, oh, this guy Mordecai saved my life? So we're at verse 3 now. What reward or recognition did we ever give Mordecai for this? The king asked. His attendants replied, nothing has been done for him. And then they hear something outside. Okay, the Bible doesn't say that. But verse 4. Who is that in the outer court? The king inquired. As it happened, Haman had just arrived in the outer court of the palace to ask the king to impale Mordecai on the pole he had prepared. Like, this is so, like, you can't make this stuff up. I love it. So that's where I'm like, literally, God has the most perfect timing. Mordecai's like, I'm gonna kill Mordecai. Oh, did I say Mordecai? Dang it. Haman's like, I'm gonna kill Mordecai. And all the Jews walk into the king's room. And literally the king just found out Mordecai saved his life. So classic. Oh, so good. Okay, we're at verse 5. So the attendants replied to the king, Haman is out in the court. Bring him in, the king ordered. So Haman came in, and the king said, what should I do to honor a man who pleases me? Haman thought to himself, whom would the king wish to honor more than me? He literally is like, in his head, like, he's talking about me. That's so embarrassing. You know, we've all been there. You know, you think someone's talking highly about you and then you're like, oh, that wasn't about me. That's why it's hilarious. So he replied, if the king wishes to honor someone, he should bring out one of the king's own royal robes, as well as a horse that the king himself has ridden, one with the royal emblem on its head. Let the robes and the horse be handed over to one of the king's most noble officials, and let him see that the man whom the king wishes to honor is dressed in the king's robes and led through the city square on the king's horse. Have the officials shout as they go, this is what the king does for someone he wishes to honor. Okay, we're on verse 10. Excellent, the king said to Haman. Quick, take the robes and my horse and do just as you said for Mordecai the Jew, who sits at the gate of the palace. Leave out nothing you have suggested. Oh my God, Haman wanted to die. I can only imagine. Oh my gosh. Seriously? That's 10 times worse than just going to someone and apologizing. Oh my gosh. Mordecai must have been mortified. Sorry. Like, I can just see, like, his face, like, just dropping when the king said it. Oh, I hope you're laughing. Oh, man. So, I have my own little footnotes here, but I'm going to keep reading. Verse 11. So Haman took the robes and put them on Mordecai. Like, I like how the Bible just says that. So Haman took the robes and put them on Mordecai. Like, can we get some more information? Like, how mad was Haman? Like, did he just... Have you ever been so mad you just, like, throw something at someone? Like, here. Like, did he throw it? Or did he, like, put it on but, like, kind of choke him as he put the robe on? Or did he, like, gently put the robe on Mordecai? Like, I need to know. When I get to heaven, I'm like, God, can you play Esther for me in movie form? And don't leave out details this time. So anyways, okay. So Haman took the robes and put them on Mordecai, placed him on the king's own horse, and led him through the city square shouting, this is what the king does for someone he wishes to honor. Okay. Like, did he say it happily or was he mad? Like, does anyone else have these thoughts? No? Just me? Like, is he saying it like, this is what the king does for someone he wishes to honor, and rolls his eyes? Or, you know, because he's doing what the king ordered, like literally ordered. So is he like, this is what the king does for someone he wishes to honor? I am curious. Are you? Anyways, after Mordecai returned to the palace gate, but Haman hurried home dejected and completely humiliated. Oh my God, he was like, I have to run home. Oh my God. Was he crying? I have to go home and tell my wife what happened. Oh my God, I've lost my marbles. Okay, literally this is how I read my Bible and am like giddy and laughing by myself. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping when you're watching this that like you can laugh too. Like, just imagine Mordecai putting the robes on. Just imagine Haman putting the robes on Mordecai, prancing along with the horse, shouting that. And then when it's all done, he has to run home. Oh my God. Like, I hope you played that movie in your head. Verse 13. And where does Haman run to? When Haman told his wife, Zeresh, and all his friends what had happened, his wise advisors and his wife said, "Since Mordecai, this man who has humiliated you, is of Jewish birth, you will never succeed in your plans against him. It will be fatal to continue opposing him." Oh, now they're kind of giving good advice. While they were still talking, the king's eunuchs arrived and quickly took Haman to the banquet Esther had prepared. So when this all started, it was pretty late in the evening, I'm assuming, because King Xerxes couldn't sleep. So, I mean, it's bedtime. I don't know how long he tossed and turned. It probably took Haman and his like workers, a few hours to make the pole. But so it was in the middle of the night, so I'm sure it woke up everyone. Haman prancing Mordecai around, shouting, probably woke up everyone. And so then by the time the whole ordeal was over, he ran home humiliated, and now it's like the next morning. So like he hasn't even slept yet. So yeah, so and now he's like being whisked away to the second banquet. So my little footnotes that I personally wrote said they knew all along the Jews couldn't be destroyed. Finally, they speak up and tell Mordecai the truth. What great friends. So they totally like changed their tune. Like, bro, don't continue, But remember, like, he had this whole plan. They drew lots to see the date. So it's almost, a year from now when all the Jews are going to be killed. So, oh my gosh, chapter 6 is hilarious. I'm just kind of reading over what the study notes say for this. I kind of like this part because I've talked a few times in a few episodes about when we do good deeds, like Mordecai, he saved the king's life. It's not that like God told him, he overheard, but yes, maybe God's hand was on it. But, just in life, we do good deeds, you're picking a kid falls on the playground. They're not mine. I run over if I don't see a parent running over just to make sure the kid's okay. Like, that's a good deed. But like, I necessarily, we don't get an award or, even kind words sometimes. Maybe they're like, get away from my kid. But I think this is pretty important in the notes here. It says Mordecai had exposed a plot to assassinate Xerxes. Thus, he had saved the king's life. Although his good deed was recorded in the history books, Mordecai had gone unrewarded. But God was saving Mordecai's reward for the right time. Just as Haman was about to impale Mordecai unjustly, the king was ready to give the reward. Although God promises to reward our good deeds, we sometimes feel our payoff is too far away. Be patient. God steps in when it will do the most good. So I just want you to hang on to that hope that all the good deeds you've done in the world are not unnoticed. It may feel like you're unnoticed, unrewarded. Trust me, just like Mordecai had saved the king's life years ago, God chose to show the king King Xerxes what Mordecai did the night Haman was going to kill Mordecai. Like, that's when I would want my reward. So just know your reward is coming in God's timing and in your favor. So don't forget that. We always say God's timing, but it's actually God's timing in your favor. So like, I'm going to paint that on my wall. God's timing, but in your favor. Okay, I'm coining that. So I hope you enjoyed chapter 6. I did a lot of talking, so I'm not going to cross-reference the commentary Bible. I hope you like got a good laugh out of this, because I did. Or you laughed at me. Whatever. I'll take either one. So yeah, that was chapter 6, and we will see you next episode starting with chapter 7.